Hello and welcome to my channel, Naughty Gnome Crafts. My name is Sarah and you can find me as Naughty Gnome on Instagram. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me today, and I have a review video for you. But before we get started, I'll just quickly tell you what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Simplicity sweater dress that I made last year. The number is S8982 and I'm wearing that with my navy campsite shawl that I knit back in 2016. So today's review is all about the Victory Patterns Sofia blouse and dress. So I made both a top and the dress, so I have a lot to say about this pattern. I just really like the sheared style for summer, and I wanted to make a top and a dress that I could wear when it's warm out and still be really cute and comfortable, because the shearing makes it stretchy and easy to throw on. So the fabrics that I used are both from Blackbird Fabrics. I used two different gingham prints. The top is made out of a navy blue linen gingham, and the dress is made out of a red and white rayon gingham that was a dead stock fabric, so it's no longer in stock. So for both patterns, I made the size 2, and let's talk about the top first. So for the top, I made the version that is cropped, and there's like a version you can have a peplum, and I didn't do that one. I did the cropped version, and then I added the long sleeves with the shearing at the wrists, and it has elastic in the shoulders to hold it up. This was the first version that I made. When I did the shearing on this linen, it's kind of a medium weight linen, it's not super thin. And I had a lot of trouble not getting the shearing to shrink up enough. So I actually did all of the shearing on the bodice pieces. I think the pattern says it's supposed to shrink up 50%, and it did not. But when I hovered a steam iron over it, it did shrink up to 50%. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I made the top, but when I actually finished it completely and put it on, the bodice was still way too big. Like I kind of pinched out how much extra fabric there was, and there was like 12 inches of extra fabric that it didn't snug up to my body. It just kind of like flared out and looked really terrible. So I was really disappointed, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to wear this without really taking in the sides. But I thought to myself, just go ahead and wash it and see if it kind of shrinks up in the wash. So I did that. I actually, because this is linen and I wanted to kind of soften the fabric, I think I actually ended up putting it through like 4 different wash cycles and drying it on high heat twice, which I don't normally do. I very rarely dry my clothes in the dryer, but for this I wanted it to shrink up. So after doing that, it did snug up the way that it's supposed to, and like all of that extra 12 inches did shrink up so that it fits snugly to the body. So if you try shearing and it's not fitted to your body, I would suggest make sure that you wash and dry it at least like once or maybe twice to see if that fixes the issue before you go back in with your sewing machine and make changes. So I should have told you the pattern changes that I did. So it's a crop top, and I wanted it to be cropped but not like super cropped. So I added 1 inch to the cropped length, and I think that was a good amount of extra length, because I think it's pretty much perfect. It kind of sits at the top of my high-waisted pants and skirts. So I added 1 inch to the body, and then I removed 5 inches from the sleeve. Now this sleeve, it was really very difficult to tell on the paper pattern to know how much length I needed to take out of the sleeve, because it sits up really high on your shoulder, and it's meant to be kind of stick out. And then also this really long bit of shearing at the cuff like shrinks it up. So it was just really hard for me to tell how much I needed to remove from the sleeve, but it seemed like I needed to remove a lot. So I took out 5 inches. After doing all of the shrinking, I probably could have gotten away with more like 3 or 4, but the 5 inches isn't too bad. I would say that if you normally need to adjust sleeve length, if you just take out the typical amount that you remove, like I normally need to remove 3 inches from my sleeves, if I just would have done that, it would have been fine. So that would be my guideline if you're wondering how much to adjust your sleeve length. Just do what you would normally do, and it's probably going to be fine. So after doing the adjustments and washing it, it does fit fine, but this top drives me absolutely bananas, and I'm probably not gonna wear it the way that it currently is. I actually did try to wear it on a weekend for, I don't know, just a day, just lounging around the house. And I had it on for maybe an hour and a half, and I just had to take it off because it was making me insane. So the problem is, and this is not an issue with the pattern, it's just the style of the shirt, is that the shoulder just wants to keep popping off. And it sort of like gradually slides like more and more and more, and then it just falls off, and I have to put it back on. I'm like constantly having to readjust the shoulders on this. And also because of all this elastic, it kind of creeps up at the armpit. And so it just ends up really high underneath my armpit, and it's uncomfortable. So I'm constantly having to tug it down. And all of that fiddliness just makes it super annoying to wear. Now, I did think that I might need to lengthen the elastic in this shoulder, but it's just such a delicate balance, because if I lengthen it too much, then the shoulders aren't going to be able to stay up and they're just going to fall off. Whereas right now, I think maybe they're the elastic's slightly too short and they pop off because there's not enough room, but I'm worried about adding too much room that they're not going to stay up. So what I did think about actually doing is, I'm pretty sure that it was Kristen from the Dahlia Society. She had made a version of this pattern. I think she made the dress, and she had kind of similar issues with the shoulders. So she actually added the strap from the bell sleeve version and then just gathered the other sleeve onto the belt, or onto the strap. And I may end up going back to do that, because I do have enough fabric. I could cut out the straps, take off the sleeves, take out the elastic, and then do the strap version. And I may end up doing that, because just the way that it is right now, I'm not going to wear it. It actually looks super cute on, and I like it, but I just cannot stand how much I have to fiddle with it to get it to stay up. It just annoys me so much. So that was my top version. So let me go get the dress. This is future me just popping in really quick to add, I always forget to bring this up when I was talking about the victory patterns, but the reason that I made the red dress is I wanted to participate in the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge. And so because the dress is ankle length and the theme is so bold, so bright, and it's a red gingham, I think that it really pops. I thought it would be perfect for the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge, and I am planning to enter on the hashtag. It's a challenge that's hosted by T from Crumpets Tea and Sewing, and oh no, I'm blanking on her name. Crystal from Crystal Sews and Stuff. It's in the name. But yeah, I always forget to bring that up, so I just wanted to pop in really quick and let you know that I did make the dress for the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge. Okay, back to the video. So the dress version, I did a slightly different view. I did do the straps with the bell sleeves, as you can see here, and I altered the skirt so that it was ankle length on me, and then I added a tier at the bottom so that it's a maxi length with a tier. So for this one, I had a little bit of a rough start to begin with, because it was one of those things where it was the end of the day and I was tired and I really should know better than to do this. But I was like, oh, I'll just get it cut out, before I go upstairs to relax. And so I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. And this rayon fabric is quite slippery. And I did starch it, but even so, it was very slippery. And so my pieces were not all cut on grain. And so you can I don't know if you can see it well here, but when I wear it, you can tell that like the bodice, the gingham doesn't go, like it's not straight up and down. It's a little bit skewed. So that's not great. It's not my best work. I should have known better to just quit for the day and then start fresh the next day. But on the other hand, it's not any worse than ready to wear. There's tons of ready to wear stuff that doesn't have stuff on grain either. So I'm not like, it's not gonna stop me from wearing it. It's just not my best work. And so if I had it to do over again, I would have cut more carefully. So that was the first issue that I had. I did make a change. They have you sew elastic in the waist seam, and instead of using regular elastic, I used, you're probably not gonna be able to see this, but I used clear elastic just because I thought that that would probably be more comfortable against my skin. So I'm glad I made that change. And for the tier, this is actually kind of a mistake, but I'm sort of glad that it worked out. Again, I was tired and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So when I cut the skirt portion shorter in order to add the tier, I didn't preserve the curve of the hem. I just cut it straight across. And so what that did when I added the ruffle is that the ruffle is actually longer at the sides, and then it's kind of a high-low, a very subtle high-low in the front. So that's technically a mistake, but when I actually put it on and was kind of swishing in front of the mirror, I kind of like it. I think it's a little bit different than just your standard tiered skirt. And so even if it was an accident, I kind of like that effect. So this dress with the strap fits much, much better. It stays put on my shoulders. I can wear a bra. It doesn't sit uncomfortably under the arms, which is why I think I may go back to the top and adjust the top to be more like this. But in the meantime, it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it. So when I finished this dress and I just quickly tried it on in the mirror to see what it looked like, I was really disappointed. You know how when you build up an idea in your head of what you think a garment's gonna look like? I had this fresh, beautiful, red gingham, and I was picturing being on a summer picnic and frolicking through a field of wildflowers. I know it sounds crazy, but you just sort of get these images in your head of what you think you're gonna look like. And so when I put the dress on for the first time and looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my God, I look like I'm wearing my grandma's nightgown. It just looked so awful to me. And I was like, this is a disaster. Both of my tops are awful. This fabric was expensive. It's just both makes are just a huge waste. But once again, I was like, just, take it off. You need to wash it, and to get all of the markings and stuff out, just wash it and try it on again later and see how you feel. So the second time, post-washing, when I tried it on, I actually really liked it. And I have no idea whether I was just in a bad mood the first time. I will say it's not quite the frolicking through a field of wildflowers that I was thinking of, but I do like it. I think it's super comfortable. I think that it's pretty and feminine, and I really like the long length, and I just think it's going to be a super lightweight, comfortable dress to wear for summer. So I feel a lot better that it's not, I don't know, you can tell me in the comments if you think that I'm wrong, but I don't think it looks like a nightgown. I do think that it could kind of go that way. So I do think I need to be mindful of my styling and maybe try to make it a little bit more sophisticated when I wear it to ensure that I don't look like I just threw something on and it looks tacky. But I do actually really like it. So in the end, I'm glad that I made the dress. I will not wear the top as it's currently constructed because it annoys me. But I think I'm talking myself into this. I am trying to be better about going back to my makes and changing the ones that don't work for me. So I think I'm talking myself into actually doing that for the blue top so that I will wear it, because I do really like it. I think that it's so cute. It's just uncomfortable at the moment. So that was my review of the Victory Patterns Sofia. I'm not anxious to make another one of these right now, but I do really like the style, and especially the dress. I think that it's going to be really comfortable to wear. I'll probably wait, through this summer and see how many times I wear the dress and if I like it. And but I would consider making this pattern again. I think that it was good. I think the instructions were clear. And so if you are looking to make a sheared dress or blouse like this and you want a little bit more instruction than just the free tutorials that are out there, I do think the pattern is worth it, in my opinion. So that is my review of the Victory Patterns Sofia, and I will be back Wednesday with my week 1 roundup of Me Made May, and so I will see you next time.